Well, I've only gone and bloody done it again. So today I'm talking about a track that I was commissioned to sing on by James Pasqua, who is a very talented producer, guitarist from the USA. He is the lead guitarist for a band called Stepadelic and is also the owner of a record label called Cold Summer Records. He also has a podcast called A Conversation in Dub, and he is very much in sort of the dub world. And the track he sent to me is very much a reggae-infused track, to which he tentatively put to me and sort of said, I'm not sure if you'd be into this, but as soon as I heard it, I thought, this is great, I really love this. Kind of gave me Ernest Ranglin vibes. Ernest Ranglin is probably one of my favorite artists of all time. Incredible guitarist, producer from Jamaica, who is seen to be one of the godfathers of ska and reggae. And yeah, as soon as I heard it, it kind of evoked a lot of Ernest Ranglin. And Ernest was introduced to me by my dad, Graham Barker, who I was living with for a little while and working a crappy job as a telemarketer, basically hassling people for money at dinner time, hassling elderly people for money at dinner time. And my dad had given me a cassette. I believe it was a recording from BBC's Radio 1 of the entire Ernest Ranglin album, Below the Baseline. And he gave it to me because he liked to do that. And so day after day, traveling to and from this horrible job, I was listening to Ernest Ranglin and really getting into it. It's amazing stuff. So as soon as I heard James's track, I was like, this is cool. This is definitely something I could lend my voice to. And the resulting track is Cosmic Soul. This is what it sounds like.
No darkness whispers in your ear. Freedom's message is loud and clear. One love, one heart, one home. Let the good times roll.
And yeah, there's a great vibe on this track. There's also a dub version, I think. I'm not sure if it's out today, but if it's not, it's coming. And that too is awesome. It's like a dub remix. So just to talk about sort of the themes behind it, of course, reggae music in and of itself is rebel music. And it speaks to social awareness, socioeconomic disparity. Given that its birthplace was Jamaica, people over there grew up in abject poverty. So socioeconomic issues are always kind of at the forefront of the conversation. There are also social issues as well. And I've always sort of taken from reggae that kind of rebellious fight against the system kind of nature, but also that deep social and spiritual awareness, that self-awareness. So I wanted to utilize some of those themes for this track. And the key being that, love will endure, essentially. That love is the greatest rebellious force. What was interesting about this track was that the lyrics just flowed in very quickly. One of those instances where, I'm in the shower, doing the thing, washing the things, and it just started pouring in. As that water is pouring over me, the ideas were just flowing, and the lyrics were very immediate. The first lyric that came to me was one love, one mind, one soul. And which of course is a little bit tropey in reggae scenes. I mean, we've got, Bob Marley's One Love. But I kind of adhere to that sort of message, that we're all in this together. We're a human community. No matter our socio-political leanings or whatever, or our station in life, we're all part of this one organic mass, this cosmic anomaly, and we're all in it together. So I think it was sort of at the forefront of my consciousness when reflecting on this music that it represents that. And then I had the follow-up line, one love, one heart, one home. So to somewhat anchor that on earth, and that we should be respectful and have gratitude for the environment in which we find ourselves, that we only have one at the moment. I kind of wanted it to be reverential in the spirit of that, but I also wanted it to talk to social issues as well. And at the time, I like to ingest a lot of political media, and I do keep an eye on what's going on current events. So there was a lot of that going on at the moment, and conversations with friends, those sorts of things, where it's never been crazier seems to be the sentiment. It's always been crazy. I mean, what are we saying? There's just more of it that's brought to our attention, but it's always been crazy. So I wanted it to sort of have that in mind, that, you know, there's social injustices, the world feels like it's breaking down, but the thing that will keep guiding you through is just holding true to your principles, holding true to love, surrounding yourself with goodness, playing music, developing or creating art, whatever it is, just keeping yourself focused on the things that bring you joy. So I wanted it to kind of be an amalgam of those things, and try not to get too preachy about it, but at the same time be informative. Like, hey, you know, have it be a bit of a reminder. Hey, buddy, just stay focused on the truth. Stay focused on the things that bring you joy. Stay focused on the love. And be loving to others, those sorts of things. So if you like what I do musically and you like this sort of content, feel free to like and subscribe now. I doubled my subscribers since the last video. That's awesome. Yeah, help me get to 100. Woo! Let's go. What was interesting working on this track was there was sort of at the end of the verse a tagline that I wanted to create. I just couldn't conceive of it, and I'm squeezing blood out of a stone trying to think of how do I cap, you know, the verse? How does it sort of play as a pre-chorus going into the chorus? And I wanted it to be strong. I just couldn't think of anything. So as I was developing the vocals for this, I took a break, had a coffee, just doom scrolling social media as one does. And what was interesting was I happened upon an interview with Michael J. Fox, where he said, with gratitude, optimism is sustainable.
And I realized with gratitude, optimism is sustainable.
And it was really powerful for me to hear that. And playing into sort of what I was creating, what I was developing at the time, it was just perfect. And I thought, you know, I really want to honor this man by putting that in there. I think that is brilliant wisdom. And as the song is kind of about reflecting gratitude and just staying the course and staying true, I think that plays to that spirit perfectly. And thank you to Michael J. Fox for inspiring that line. It came at perfect time, as sometimes these things do. Sometimes there's a lot of serendipity that will occur in this process, in the creation process. And if you just sort of open your ears and eyes to it, it will find you. So do I listen to much reggae? Not really. In my previous band, 12 Foot Ninja, we did touch upon reggae. We were a genre bending band, so there are certain sections in songs where we definitely sort of went into that skank. And that was kind of cool, but would I call myself an aficionado? Probably not. I do love early ska, so Lord Tunamo, Lord Creator, Slim Smith, the Techniques. I also can appreciate Lee Scratch Perry. I appreciate King Tubby, but I'm not massive aficionado of reggae music. I had a Bob Marley phase, sort of late teens, early 20s, where, you know, I was basically just smoking my own body weight and weed every week. And which I think is a rite of passage for a lot of people, especially musicians. You kind of have this Bob Marley phase. And I appreciate a lot of Bob Marley's earlier work. His kind of ska-based stuff. Really, really cool. But with this track, I kind of wanted it to have sort of elements of that in there. I wanted it to kind of have that I3's vibe. So Marsha Griffiths, Judy Mowat, and Rita Marley. And it's kind of got that a little bit in the backing vocals. I also wanted to use certain cadences that I attribute to reggae as well. So you'll hear some melodic choices that I make in there that probably sound quite tropey to those that are aficionados. But yeah, I wanted it to kind of have an authenticity given the fact that I'm not Jamaican and I'm an English white guy that's basically doing reggae music. So there is a Jamaican connection for me. My grandma, Yolanda Nasrallah, was born in 1930 in Kingston, Jamaica. Daughter of Dolly da Costa from Portugal, who was a Portuguese Jew, and Wahid Nasrallah, who my great-grandpa, who was a Syrian national. And of course, she's not Jamaican, but she was a Jamaican national. She lived there for about 8 years and then they moved to England. As my beautiful cousin Nat pointed out, Nan would be bopping to this one. And I think she would too. Rest in peace, Nan. My great-grandpa Wahid was importing buses from England and sort of started the first private chartered bus company in Kingston. So there is a connection there, I guess. I mean, reggae wasn't the music back in those days. Ska wasn't even invented. It was Calypso. So, you know, Harry Belafonte. So I really did have a lot of fun exploring this track. And thanks so much to James Pasqua for trusting in me and having me on board. Greatly appreciate it. So you can have a listen to it. The links will either be in the description if YouTube allows, or they're going to be pinned as the first comment in the comment section. Feel free to let me know how you feel about it in the comment section. And yeah, enjoy. I hope it kind of gives you something, because it certainly gave me something. So anyway, whatever it is you're doing, I hope you're having a good one, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers.